Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I've got a quick pawn shop adventure for you. This is a Klein SDS impact handle. I did a video on this, and ever since then people have been commenting they either couldn't believe I didn't already own a rotary hammer, or I definitely need one because the capabilities of these are just incredible. I started doing a little more research, and absolutely, and decided I would put it on my list of things to watch for. Home Depot had a sale on them recently, but unfortunately the $349 hammer that I was looking at was $1 shy of $350, and if I could spend $350 I would have been able to get $80 off. I probably would have moved on one, but instead I didn't. I would have had to have bought another $150 battery or something in order to break that last dollar. I even asked a Milwaukee guy there, they had a rep in town, I said, can you just charge me $1 more so then I could get the 80 bucks off? Anyway, I'm glad that I waited. I found this at a pawn shop. I had been keeping my eye out, but usually they're just all beat up or you don't know the history, stuff like that. So this is actually multi-level. A lot went on here. And what was interesting about all this is I knew very little. So I had to do a lot of study, talk to a bunch of people, read a lot online. So here's what went on. First of all, I decided I wanted an M18 one. There is an M12, and I think that is a good complement, but I wanted a full-sized one. I had been looking at the one just below this. This one sells for 450 bucks without a battery, full retail. The one I was looking at was about $349. The reason I didn't buy it is because if I could spend, Milwaukee's pricing on there when you add stuff together, if I could have spent $350, I would have got $80 off. I would have bought one, but it was $349 and I couldn't get the discount, so I waited and it expired. But anyway, so I thought I'll just keep my eye out. I'm not in a hurry. And I came across this one, and there was also the next model down, both at a pawn shop. And I looked at both of them. They wanted $200 for the other one, and it was all beat up, and I don't believe it came with a battery. And there was this one, and they wanted $260 for it, and I was like, wow. And it came with this. This is the 3.0, the CP 3.0. This is actually one of my favorite all-round batteries. I don't think it sells with this, but this is actually marketed by Milwaukee as a good opportunity to cut some weight, because you're going to get the job done, the few holes or whatever, probably with the battery. You just can't do multiple. So they actually advertise the use of this with those smaller batteries. But anyway, what that gave me was a battery that was worth something to me and to test this thing out. So I went through my usual drill test, trying different speeds and smelling the mechanism, looking for anything odd. And the only thing I could really find was, and you can see it here, I could see grease coming out of the top. That's what this stuff is. It's a grease. And I thought, oh, that doesn't look good. Something's going on. And so I'm kind of looking online, and it says you're supposed to grease these things. When you put a bit in it, it's recommended to grease it. I pulled up Milwaukee's instruction manual for this, and it didn't just loosely say you need to grease these before you insert them or something like that. But then as I dug around more online, some people were actually taking grease and filling the chuck, just squirting it in there. They recommended doing that. And there were also warnings that if you see a bunch of stuff oozing out, that somebody might have blown it up or overheated it. And I thought, wow, I'm out of my league here. I don't know how to assess this. But anyway, I talked to the clerk, and I said, kind of like, what's your best price? I was able to get it down to $220 with the battery. I figured the battery was probably worth about 30 bucks to me. If I saw it, I might get something like that. I wondered, did they know what they had? And actually on the tag, with the price on it, it had more information, serial number and some other stuff. And one of it was that this was a $499 tool. And what that was $50 for the battery, I guess, and $450 for the tool. So they knew what they had. But it looked like it was in great shape. I mean, I didn't really see anything. It sounded fine. And then, you're always wondering, well, is it stolen? Well, this has one key. And one key is the security system. You can see that little blinking there. The blinking is the one key connection, a Bluetooth connection. So I opened up my one key app on my phone and I could see this thing, no history, connect right to it. You know, now it's mine. And I thought, if somebody's got a $450 tool with the built-in one key and you can use a free app, that why isn't this secured if it was stolen? And they said, actually, I don't know if they knew this or not, but started kind of saying, like an iPhone, that they don't take any one key tools unless it can be demonstrated that it's not attached to anything. I think they kind of made that up, but either way, I easily could see it, I could connect to it, and now it's part of my one key system. But anyway, I tried out the different features, started reading a little bit more about it, and then I contacted a Milwaukee service guy that I know and asked him about the greasing, and he said, yeah, some people squirt it in there. What you do is it's just designed, you know, for the back of the bits. And I said, what do you recommend? And he said, well, the white lithium grease is the average stuff, and that is what this stuff looks to be. So I think this was excessively cared for, is what actually happened, and there's just tons of grease in there. But otherwise, it works. And there were a couple of interesting bits there. This was, they had some unused, as far as I can tell, bits, and I wasn't sure what they were for. I didn't know what they were called, but I was able to look them up, and this was kind of neat. You know, for $10, some other pieces, because I don't think they looked up the bits. I think they just, you know, set them out there. But I looked up this guy. This is, I think, $119. It's an extension, so you can hook another SDS bit in, and now you've got a really, in this case, I think it's an 18-inch extension for something. But for the price, you know, $10. And then I got this one too, and I thought, well, that's an interesting bit. Tried to figure out what it was. It turns out you pound a rod into the ground, I guess, or into something. So you just slide this over. I don't know if it's rebar. If you guys know or you use it, but it's designed to pound a rod of some type into other material. Not worth a lot. I can't remember what it was, $50 or something was what the retail is. And check that out. This is a chuck. Now, this one, it says it's a Jacobs chuck, but it's got a Milwaukee logo on it. And I looked it up, and these are about $50-some. But you can also get tons of these on Amazon for not much money. So I don't know if they looked it up or just realized that these are not highly desirable. But that allows you to put regular drill bits on should you want to risk that. But anyway, so now I'm the proud owner of this. I'm learning about the internal workings, the way it's used. It does have extra features. I can get a dust collection that goes on the bottom. Chisels, scrapers. I mean, I'm excited. This one is the newer one with the anti-vibration system, so there is this handle actually wiggles, so I guess that's good for certain vibrations. It's got the depth meter, or the depth setting rod, and I played around with it. It seems to work fine. I'm excited. But the whole overall cost, the way I figure, if this was worth $30, I got it for $220. So I got it I bought the whole thing for $220, so I paid about $190 for a $450 tool. Like it or not, you know, that's just how this turned out. But now I'm excited to learn a lot more about this whole system that I have been avoiding for years. If you've got any other suggestions, let me know which direction to go. But I'm starting to think there are a lot of applications for this that I've probably just avoided or never went down that DIY rabbit hole to learn about because I didn't have the tool, and now I do. But to continue, I am looking for the M12 tiny version. I'm starting to get pretty excited about having that for really, really important small projects. I've got some things in mind. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. And with that, Doc out.